Sue Stockdale, and welcome to episode 67 of Access to Inspiration, the show where you can gain inspiration from people who may be unlike you. We hope their stories and insights enable you to transcend day-to-day challenges and reflect on what you are capable of achieving. This episode was recorded using Squadcast, the remote recording platform which empowers podcasters by capturing high-quality audio and video conversations that listeners love. We are proud that Squadcast are sponsors of this podcast series, and you will find them at squadcast.fm. My guest today is Maxim Ivanov, a multi-skilled circus performer who lives in Ukraine. We recorded this episode in January, prior to the events that have been unfolding in that country, and we hope that Maxim and his family are safe at this time. Maxim has this incredible strength and talent as an aerial performer, where he and his wife Olga fly through the air during their amazing show that I've had the privilege of seeing several times. I recommend you watch their clips on YouTube and Instagram, as well as listening to this conversation to discover how he does it. Welcome to the podcast, Maxim Ivanov. Is that correct, how I pronounced it?
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you very much for having me here with you.
There's going to be so much we can dig into today because I'm really fascinated to speak to you, having watched you perform live in a show and also these amazing videos that you put out on social media of your amazing skills and flexibility. So in terms of what you do, how would you describe it?
Well, my profession I would call multi-circus performer because I do different disciplines. But in traditional circus, they call it circus artist. But I try to put circus in a real life, like not just in a traditional costume. And so, yes, performer.
When I think of circus in Britain, where I was brought up, I think of a traditional big top and a ring and acrobats on trapezes and doing different sorts of tricks. When you were young and growing up, how did you come to learn about circus skills? Were your family circus performers, or was it something you just learned yourself?
So my dad, he did it for a short period. He was a hand balancer for a couple of years, and he did acrobatic on horses, like jockey, like traditional. But I think I started not because of him, because my cousin, he used to go to the circus school in Moscow before me. And for the summer break, he came and he encouraged me with the tricks, jumping, stuff like that. And of course, I wanted to do so. So I think I started to do circus because of my cousin.
And how old were you then, Maxim?
Oh, 15. Yeah, so I start actually late to do the stretching, the strengthening, and learning acrobatic skills. Was very late. I didn't go to the gymnastic, but somehow was flexible. I got prepared for the circus school exam for like in 1-2 years. I just stretched my splits by myself, did the handstand next to the wall, and some bridges, like basic, and they see potentials in me, maybe. I don't know.
And what did you learn at the circus school in Moscow? What did the training involve?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first year we have different disciplines, a lot of different, like juggling, tight wire, hand balancing, acrobatic, tumbling, trampoline, gymnastic on the bars, on the rings. So first year is trying everything. And then the second year, we choose what we want to do, which skills, which discipline. And then the third and fourth year, we create our act. Of course, continue learning new skills, getting stronger.
And when you were learning those physical skills and the different tricks, how did you manage any fear or anxiety that you might have had?
Well, for dangerous tricks, for example, for jumping, we have safety rope trainer who hold us. But we were young and we didn't see some dangerous stuff like that. We weren't such a like scaring or anxious about that. So we just go and jump into the pillows with the heads down and stuff. So we just playing. We didn't see any danger. I don't know. Probably now, if there's somebody told me to do that, maybe I'll think first.
It makes me think that when any of us think about something in a playful context, when it's fun, when we're enjoying it, That's a whole different mindset than going in and feeling nervous and anxious and scared.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, even now jumping into the water in the swimming pool, you think before to do that, but before we just did it, you know?
And how did you then come up with your act? You said in the final year at circus school, you had to create your act.
Yes.
How did you decide that?
Second year, a teacher taught us specific tricks. Third and fourth year, we choosing the most favorite tricks we want to do. And then they help us to do some sequences, and we put in different music. We like this music, we see the video, we don't like this music. And then also in a Moscow circus school we have choreographers. Sometimes we can choose them, we talk to them, sometimes they choose us. So yeah, they provide everything, Moscow circus school.
And what's your favorite discipline?
In circus school, I chose the hand balancing. I really love it, the position, static. But now I really like flying with my wife, doing duo straps. I really enjoy flying. Easy way to explain, for example, you learn some tricks, and for example, one trick you learn 2 years, which is really hard, but people don't see how hard it is, and you don't get back the applause. And year by year you realize you got something, you do the tricks which people more appreciate, but in the air you fly and people enjoy and everybody enjoy.
What I'm hearing from you is it's as much about the audience appreciation.
Yeah, we need a lot of audience appreciation. If you don't get that, I think people stop to do that. We have that. Fortunately.
And is that why you do what you do? Or is it the skill of the tricks and the abilities that you have?
I think more yes than no, because I'm creating also some new skills. I see how people react. But yeah, mostly people feedbacks and people enjoying that. It's really encouraging us to do more.
And when you were learning, how much of the learning was actually doing the skill versus any of the theory of balancing and what the body can accomplish? Or is it just purely practice? Go out there and discover what your body can do.
It's both, but mostly you need to feel your body. You need to know how it will be.
My sense is you really love learning things. I know that you taught yourself to play the piano. You've taught your daughter to begin with being part of your act.
Yeah.
What is it you love about learning?
For example, piano, I love specific song and it give me energy, it give me goosebumps and like, oh, I want to learn this song. Of course, I don't choose the super hard songs, but when it give me goosebumps, I want to do that. Any stuff like that, like with my daughter, we love it first of all, and then we see people reacting and wowing them, you know, so we enjoy it more. It's more about people give us feedbacks and their reaction, something like this.
So you're describing to me that wonderful sense of following your curiosity. I wonder what would happen if I tried to replicate that tune. I want to find out how my daughter can do these tricks. So that curiosity about what's possible is perhaps part of what you're describing.
For me, yes, I just found my area, my sphere, you know, my place, what I like to do, where I like to do, and when I like to do. So just, I think everybody is different.
And you're part of a double act. You mentioned you're with your wife, Olga, in terms of flying. How did you come to work with her or meet her?
In 2006, I was working in a dinner show in Germany with my solo hand balancing act, and there was a ballet with, I think, three girls, three boys. So there was Olga. So of course, I always it's in the corner. You know, you'll find your half in work. So we love each other, and after finishing contract, I moved to Ukraine and we start to create acts, different acts. We have a lot of acts like quick changing costume, flying, partnering, acrobatic. We have for 45 minutes for two of us show, and we really enjoy to perform our own show. Like what we like, we directing, not somebody tell us put this music which you don't like to put this costume which you don't like put. So this is exactly what we like to do, and we really enjoy that.
And how do you make it work together then between the two of you? Because there's very much a close connection in terms of you working with somebody else. I'm imagining that requires quite a degree of trust rather than just doing your own hand balancing act, for example.
Of course, we have fighting and laughing, and but everyone is adult and everybody know what he must to do, what he love to do. If we don't like anything, we discussing that. Sometimes with pain, somebody she take off my favorite tricks. Sometimes like we agree to do, but it's a life. Yeah, it's normal.
How do you find venues to perform it in? Is there a directory of circuses or theatres worldwide? How do you go about selling or marketing your act?
Yeah, it's very interesting question. So from beginning, we trying to get to some circus festivals, but some of them were fine. Some of them we didn't like much because they have their own politics as well. Even everybody says not, but still. So there is a few ways. Right now we're sending material by internet, uploading the videos. It's mostly work with internet right now. Before we have like lots of agencies for cruise ships, for example, we have agency because cruise ships working only with agency. They don't work direct to the artist. Some places we work with agency, some places we found ourselves. So like last circus in Geneva, we found ourselves. We just
What's the sort of size of venue or event to give the listener a sense of the types of venues that you perform at? Is it only big spaces that have proper theatres, or are there other events or spaces that you have performed at?
I don't have perfect ideal venue. For me, perfect is like when I can play with a good lighting, good sound, good staging. This is my perfect ideal stage. And like also venues or stages which encourage me is, of course, it's a big stages because they have a lot of possibilities there. You know, if you go to small circuses, you don't have much like apparatus and flying and, for example, the motor winch which lift you up is only one slow speed, so you cannot play with it. Or on a cruise ships, like a lot of possibilities, but a lot of restrictions. To do something, you have to approve it with three different people from the office. So there is no perfect place. We like to perform in different venues.
So there is a risk, of course, in terms of what you're doing, and therefore safety has to be given consideration in all of these locations where you're performing to ensure the safety of everybody. I'm also hearing you like that freedom to be in control of the staging, the lighting, the sound, to make every condition optimal for you to perform at your best.
Yeah, it's hard to find the perfect place, but you need to adjust it and to be flexible, to be adaptive to place, to people.
So, just turning to your keeping fit, what is it that you're doing on a daily basis to maintain your flexibility and fitness?
Well, right now, I would describe myself lazy, but normally, yes, we work out 3 times a week just to be in shape. Running, everything, pull ups. I have the loops in my apartment, low ceiling apartment, but still, I need not to forget the knots and to rolling up and down and stretching like every other day. We're just working, even if we don't have any performances, we still have to work to be in shape. Otherwise, in 2 3 months, you need to change your career.
If you're enjoying this episode, you might also want to listen to other episodes featuring guests with unique talents. Last time, in episode 66, I spoke to Vicky Tuch, who spends her life climbing buildings and trees. And in episode 22, I spoke to chef Andrew Scott, who talked to me about what it takes to achieve a Michelin star. Go on over to accesstoinspiration.org and you can listen there or read the transcriptions. You also mentioned you're a parent now, Maxim. You've got a daughter.
Yes.
How are you encouraging her?
Right now, it's very hard. Before, she was playing. Now she's 5, but before 2, 3, she was very playful and she wanted to do so. So we changed every training into the playing game and like climbing. She's climbing on me and she really enjoyed. Normal people riding like a horse, pretending parents is horse and kids are jockey, but we do standing on the head, on the shoulders, upside down, but right now she's getting tougher. And like, for example, she doesn't want stretch because she understands it's painful, but we use candies, sweets, So sometimes it doesn't work as well, but like last time in Geneva, in Switzerland, she really wanted to create act with me, and we did a partner acrobatic for a couple of minutes. She was scared at some point, but she really enjoyed the process. And unfortunately, after that, she probably forgot some tricks, and she said, "No, I don't want to do this anymore." But now, after 2 3 weeks, she said, "I want to do another new act." So she had some good moments on stage as well. We don't push to work her. If she doesn't want, we just change the game and change the stuff we do. But I think she really like and she like to create with me. Yeah, I don't want to push her, but I want to give her that what I love to do, And we'll see what she could do. She could change at 16 with her own stuff, but I really want to give her that, and I don't want to be telling by her that why you didn't stretch me, why you didn't put me acrobatic. Like, for example, now I'm kind of jealous to the gymnastic that's really flexible, and why didn't I go to any gym, but it was far from me. So yeah, I'm trying to give her a lot.
It's lovely. I've seen that little video clip of the performance that both of you did in Geneva, and it's wonderful to watch the two of you working together.
Yeah.
If you were just reflecting on why you do what you do, what is it that you really enjoy about the work that you do?
Right now, I probably don't have exact explanation, but that feeling when you're on stage, it's undescribable. When you just do like before entrance, your fearness, and when you're on stage, you forget about everything. I don't know, that's feeling really hard to describe, and but at the end when you get the audience appreciation, this is like unbelievable. you know this is so hard to describe. And of course, we love travel. We really love traveling. Well, my daughter, she visited more than 100 different ports. We just counted, we pencil it in the notebook. So she has visited more than 100 ports on the cruise ships and different places we work. Yeah, so we really enjoy traveling. My daughter visited Antarctica, crossing Atlantic Ocean twice. So yeah, traveling.
What's the place that you have visited that you like the most?
There is no perfect place. There's a few, like 10 places, but there is no one place like you wanna be.
What would be in your top 10 then?
I don't know. France, many ports, many different places. Spain, oh, Italy. I really love Italy. Like Cinque Terre and its coast. I really want to drive one day on around Italy, and I love Norway, Iceland, North America, South America. There is no place, every place. There is no one city you like want to be.
Seems like your daughter's going to have a lot of stamps in her passport
Oh
before she's
yeah,
too old in terms of places she's visited.
she really does, and I'm jealous because when I was a crew, we don't get much stamps, and she was on a guest manifest, and she has every country stamps, and I'm like, why? I want this passport. So she got a lot of stamps, but unfortunately, she doesn't remember more than half of them because she was two. Yeah, and now she remember like maybe 30 places from 100, but still, it's fine.
Well, you're setting her off to a great start, giving her a sense of the world and what's in it, and the sheer joy and pleasure of doing things that you love. That's the sense I get from talking to you today, Maxim. And I think that is a message for people in all walks of life is think about it as play, do what you love. And if you can do it and get a smile on other people's faces, then that's even better.
Yeah, I'm really happy to do this chat with you. It's really enjoying, and yeah, thank you for having me.
I will encourage our listener to get right on over to the internet and find out more about your act. How might they be able to do that? Is there a website or a YouTube or something that you would recommend them have a look at?
Mostly, we're just now using the Instagram.
What's your Instagram name that people can go and look up?
Max Ivanov Handstand. So yeah, I put a lot of shorts videos in there.
It's been brilliant speaking to you today, Maxim. You've made me want to go out and try a handstand.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure for me to have a chat with you. It's very interesting. It's first chat. I never had an interview, so I'm like, yeah, why shouldn't I do that? It's really, it's making me getting out of my comfort, zone, and Yeah, it's very interesting. First time.
Well, I think over half the guests we've had on the podcast so far it's been their first ever time to do a podcast. So you're in good company from some of our previous guests who are also were testing themselves out. But I think it does speak to your interest in just trying out new things.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful that you've had this conversation with us today.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I encourage you to go over to Instagram or YouTube and see excerpts from Maxim and Olga's stage performance. Remember, you can help us spread awareness about this podcast with other people. So have a think. Who do you know that needs a little bit of inspiration today? And send them a link to this episode, or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you're listening to this on, so that others will be inspired to have a listen. Next week, I will be talking to Katrina Jennings, who represented Ireland in the London Olympics in the marathon. I'll find out what it takes to train and sustain high levels of performance in endurance running. I hope you will join me then.